everyone, and welcome to another edition of Golf Center. Along with Pete Popovich, I'm Chris Tremblay, and Pete, we've got some exciting local news for a local product. Mark Anderson of Beaufort.
Great to hear. He's a great player. He's been playing a long time, and he's going back to the PGA Tour. Second time.
He sure is. Mark finished 8th on the Web.com money list for the year. They just finished up last weekend. The top 25 earned their PGA Tour cards for what has now become the 2013/2014 season, because the new season starts October 7th through 13th out at the Fries.com Open out in California. And like I said, that's going to start the new tour season, and it'll end 2014 at the end of the FedEx Cup as far as money and everything else goes. So not only does he qualify for the tour, but he starts to get to play in those events pretty quick, you know?
That's right. You rack up that money list, get the FedEx points for next year, he gets a head start on the rest of the field.
And let's say that there's 6 events in the fall, 2 of them are in Asia. If you win one of those, you qualify for the Tournament of Champions at the beginning of the year. So he even has a chance to do something like that.
That'd be awesome.
Get an early start.
For local product.
So like I said, just so everybody knows, the 2013-2014 season is going to start in October. So to follow next year, you need to keep on it this year.
That's right. No more off season for these guys.
No more off season for these guys. Moving on to the PGA Tour, we had the first FedEx Cup event of the year. Adam Scott is a winner. It jolts him up to number 2 in the FedEx Cup standings. What a year he's had, Pete, huh?
It's unbelievable. He's moved into some of the top number for Player of the Year this year. A lot of people are talking about him with a major and a big win like this, that he could be the Player of the Year, especially if he continues his good play.
That's a great point. You have Tiger with 5 wins, but no majors.
That's right.
Phil with a couple of wins, that very memorable British Open Championship he won a couple weeks ago. And Adam Scott now, with the Masters, a FedEx Cup win. What happens if he goes ahead and wins another event, or Phil wins another event? Do you think 3 wins, including a major, trumps 5 regular wins?
I think it does, and I think for one reason. If you asked any player on the PGA Tour, would they rather have 5 wins and no majors, or 2 wins and a major? I think hands down they would take the major.
Great point. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So it should be interesting to see how it pans out the next few weeks. Here's how it goes. The low 100, they cut from 125 down to the low 100 for this week at Boston. Then they're going to cut to the low 70. They're going to head to Chicago. And then the low 30 head to East Lake Country Club in Atlanta for the Tour Championship. Yeah. So before you know it, we'll have a FedEx Cup champ. It should be interesting to see how it pans out.
I think Tim Fincham's just sitting back in his chair and watching the ratings go higher and higher. He's got to be loving it.
The concept of the playoffs from years ago, everybody wasn't sure about, and I think it's lent a wonderful summary to the end of the year and added a lot of excitement, especially with football season coming up. Sometimes we tend to lose track of golf just a little bit, that's for sure. Other people playing well this past weekend: Graham DeLette, Justin Rose, Tiger Woods, and Gary Woodland all tied for second. One of the issues we have going forward now, we saw on Sunday, was Tiger's back. It looks like we have some spasms or something going on there. He had to withdraw from Nota Begay's charity tournament this week. I think he'll be ready for this weekend. What did you see?
I'm no stranger to back trouble myself. When those back spasms lock up, it makes it very difficult to do anything, especially swinging a golf club. But with the team of experts he has, with the masseuses and the chiropractors and everything else, and I'm sure he'll be ready to go this week.
He'll be as ready as he can be anyway.
Right. If you remember a couple years ago at Firestone, he had that upper back trouble. He ended up winning.
That's right.
Remember Steve Williams gave him the massage in the middle of the fairway. So
That's right. I do remember that.
With the team of people he's got, I think Tiger will be ready.
Well, hopefully he'll be able to finish out the season, that's for sure. Let's move on to the FedEx Cup and update the standings. Tiger still remains number 1 with his runner-up finish. Adam Scott moves into second, like I said. Phil Mickelson had a good event. I believe he tied for 5th or 6th. He had a great final round. Matt Kuchar, who unfortunately closed in very un-Kuchar-like fashion. He had 78 and fell down pretty far. He goes to 4th, and Justin Rose is 5th. So that's how the top 5 stand moving forward. Like I said, after this week, they'll cut it down to the low 70 to move on to Chicago. All right, let's talk about 16-year-old Lydia Ko over on the LPGA side of things. For the second straight year, she has won the CN Ladies Canadian Open. What a performance by such a youngster, Pete. We talk about it every week. These kids just keep getting better and better at an earlier age, and she's just another illustration of that. Unbelievable play from these kids. What they're doing in the world of golf it's just phenomenal. Unbelievable. She was 16 years old. 4 months, a couple days when she won last weekend. She now becomes the second youngest to win an LPGA Tour event, and the reason isn't because she's also the first youngest, because last year she won the event also at 15 years old, 4 months and a day. So here's somebody who's 16 years old, not even really 16 and a half yet. She's won twice on tour. She's number 7 in the Rolex World Rankings. Why isn't she turning pro?
You know, with all the guidelines nowadays, you wonder if maybe the LPGA might have to relook at their bylaws and so forth to
Sure.
let some of these younger girls play because they're playing so well so early. But you know, she might be retiring pretty soon. I mean, what else is she going to accomplish?
Well, I think she needs to go out there and win a little bit of money first, because she's certainly given up a lot by not taking the prize money by remaining amateur.
You think she'll make her high school team?
There's probably a good chance that she'll be, you know, at least the 4th or 5th player. You know, she'll be able to sneak
She'll make
on
the
there,
travel
maybe help
squad.
out the team. Yeah, she'll be able to make the travel squad. Very, very good. Some things about her also. You know, she was the 2012 U.S. Women's Am champ, so it's not like she's just playing in, you know, some of the pro events and going to school. Lydia's going all over the place and playing, and I think it's really only going to be a matter of time before she does turn pro. I mean, how can she not?
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to do? She's accomplished all she can at her level. She's already won at the next level, so, you know, if she wins a major, then they don't have any choice but to kind of let her in.
You know, the first amateur to ever win 2 LPGA events. I can't see her staying amateur too much longer.
Not
Granted,
much
you have
longer.
to petition the LPGA Tour if you're not 18, but I'm pretty sure she'll be able to sneak
I think
in.
the only question is what company is she going to sign with?
What company is she going to sign with for her equipment deal?
Dollar
Absolutely
signs
right.
flashing everywhere.
Last thing we want to bring up in the headline segment is the Hilton Head Island Celebrity Golf Weekend, okay? August 30th, the 31st, and September 1st. Here's the lineup, okay? Friday the 30th, they're going to be at the Jones Course. Saturday, they're going to be at Wexford. Sunday at Harbortown. We have a whole bunch of celebrities coming. They start at 9 o'clock shotgun each day. The public is welcome. And just so we know a few of the celebs that are playing, Dennis Haysbert from the hit show 24. He's on there. Alan Thicke, actor, comedian. Kevin Sorbo.
Ooh.
Hercules, yes, Hercules. Don't cut your hair. Chef Robert Irvine, local celebrity, along with local celebrity Ken Anderson, former quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, and Alan Coulter, the voice of the David Letterman Show. He'll also be there. So if you want to check that out this weekend or need any other info, hhcelebritygolf.com is where you want to go. That's all the time we have in headlines right now. When we come back, Wayne Morris is going to talk to Jennifer O'Brien of the Women's South Carolina Golfers Association tournament coming up at Colleton River right after this. You're watching Golf Center on WHHI Sports.
Thanks, guys. I'm here today with Jennifer O'Brien, and Jennifer is the Executive Director for the Women's South Carolina Golf Association. How are you, and welcome?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Wayne. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're glad you're here. And you're here for a really good reason. It's that the Women's South Carolina Golf Association Amateur is coming up.
Correct.
And what can you tell us about the Women's South Carolina Golf Association before we get started about the tournament?
Okay. The Women's South Carolina Golf Association is an amateur association for women's golf in the state of South Carolina. We host a variety of events for all golfing abilities, so from your scratch golfer to your 50 handicap, if you will. And we also have a foundation that helps support junior girls golf in the state.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So can you tell us about the history of the amateur tournament and also kind of get into where it's going to be played this year?
Well, this will be the 65th Women's South Carolina Amateur Championship. Wow. The first one was contested in 1949 at the Country Club of Charleston and was won by Jane Covington. Wow. This year we'll be at the Colleton River Plantation on the Nicholas course.
And when is that going to be happening?
That will be September 10th through the 12th.
Okay, September 10th through the 12th at the Nicholas course at Colleton River.
Yes.
While this beautiful video rolls behind us, we had the chance to be out there a couple weeks ago for the Hilton Head Island Open, and
great event.
You're in for a treat.
Yes, we're really looking forward to it. They have a great staff there. Yeah. And we're well prepared.
Have you played the Nicholas course before?
I have. Okay. It will be a fun and interesting challenge for the ladies.
I'm sure. How'd you do?
Terribly.
Okay. And so obviously this is a local TV station, a local course, and we want to know how many local players are going to be featured in the tournament.
We have a great turnout from the Hilton Head area. We have about 20 women so far that have registered for the event. They come from about 10 different courses. They include Bear Creek, Brays Island, Belfair, Long Cove, Colleton River, Palmetto Hall, Moss Creek, the Sanctuary, Sun City, and Sea Pines.
Wow, that's a big group.
It's a large group.
I think we got them all covered there.
I think there's a few are missing. We could get a few more, I think.
So from a skill set standpoint, like what are the skills required for a golfer to be able to play in a tournament of this level?
Well, our handicap range for this event will range from a scratch golfer to a 36 handicap. And we split that into 2 divisions. So the 5.0 or less handicappers play from a championship division and a longer yardage. And 5.1 to about 36 play in the state division and a shorter yardage. And then within those divisions, we split them into flights by handicap.
I gotcha. And what's the yardage that we're going to be playing?
The yardage from the championship tees will be about 5,700 yards.
Okay.
And from the state tees will be about 5,100 yards.
Okay, I gotcha. Alrighty. Well, just real quickly, if anybody has any desire for some more information, you have a website, I assume?
We do. It is www.WSCGA.org.
Okay.
And all of our information is there.
Is there a preferred phone number they should call, or just go to the website?
They can go to the website. We have email. They could also call us at 843-757-4653.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
It's going
Wayne.
to be a great event. Tell us one more time the dates.
The dates are September 10th through the 12th, Colleton River on the Nicholas course.
Be there.
Welcome back to Golf Center. We're very pleased in this segment to be joined by Louise Mathews. She is the Executive Director of the Technical College of the Low Country Foundation. Louise, thank you very much for being with us this week.
Well, you're quite welcome. Thank you, Chris. It's my pleasure to be here.
Why don't you tell us what's going on? I understand we have a little golf tournament coming up to raise a little money for the Technical College of the Low Country.
Yes, that's correct. On September 13th at Hampton Hall, we are sponsoring the Swinging for Education Golf Tournament, which will raise funds for student assistance at the Technical College of the Low Country.
Tell us a little bit about the TCL students and their requirements and why we're doing this in general.
Well, Chris, we are a technical college. That's a community college. We are a comprehensive college. We have technical programs and we have transfer programs, and our students very often need assistance. 80% of our students require some financial aid in order to go to college, and as you know, the technical colleges are very, very reasonably priced, but they still need help, especially with books, which are so expensive, and sometimes with tuition as well. So we raise funds in the community, and we have many, many generous people and agencies, organizations that provide scholarship assistance. The golf tournament gives us a boost, though. We get more funds for student aid, which we can use for tuition and books, or for our student emergency fund, which helps students who may be in danger of dropping out of school because of some financial emergency. It can range from a blown tire to homelessness.
Sounds like a great cause, Louise. When is the tournament and where is it this year?
It's at Hampton Hall on the Bluffton-Buckwalter Parkway, and it will start at 8 o'clock on September 13th. That's a Friday, but it's going to be your lucky day. And the 8 o'clock is registration, 9 o'clock is a scramble shotgun start, and we're just looking forward to having a great time. Hampton Hall is a wonderful host. It was a great course to play last year, and everybody had a great time. We'll have lunch. The registration includes the carts, lunch, and several contests. So come on down for a good cause, have fun, and play golf.
Well, let's get to talking about some of the contests. I see here right away on top of the list for the tournament flyer, we have a $10,000 hole-in-one contest right there listed, huh?
That's correct. We have a $10,000 hole-in-one contest. We also have a raffle $50,000 hole-in-one contest. You buy a raffle ticket, you can, if your name is drawn, you can try again for a hole-in-one, and if you get that one, it's $50,000. So we'll have the usual closest to the pin, longest drive, so on. So we're looking forward to a lot of fun.
Second year of the tournament. Why don't you tell us how it went last year and how you how you kind of got started?
Well, we got started mainly through the efforts of one of our board members, Derek Hoaxum, who works here on Hilton Head as the assistant facilities manager, and Derek and several members of the board wanted to put together a golf tournament. And I should mention that we've had a wonderful sponsor since we started last year, and that is CareCorps National, and they are our tournament sponsor again this year. And through their support and with the board members, we had this wonderful tournament last year, which was almost rained out, but we could go forward and play. And I think everybody just had a delightful time. It was a great day of play, and we're looking forward to doing the same thing this year.
For those that want to help out and do some sponsoring of the event, either a whole sponsor or donate, I see we have different packages. We have the platinum package, the gold package, the silver package. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
Well, the different packages start with platinum, which is $5,000, includes 2 teams. lots of recognition, gold and silver. Also, the gold package includes a team as well as recognition. Silver is recognition, as is bronze. We also have players. Lots of players can come on. That is $460 for a team. Again, that includes the cart and lunch and so forth, and also a tax-deductible contribution. So if anyone wants to become a sponsor or to play, they can call me at 843-470-5962 or go to our website, that's tcl.edu/golf.
So once again, we're looking at September 13th. We're at Hampton Hall for the TCL Foundation Golf Tournament. We have 8 o'clock registration.
That's right.
9 o'clock shotgun start. And for those that want information, tcl.edu/golf.
That's correct.
Louise
That's right.
Mathews, thank you so much for joining us. We hope the tournament goes well. We'll look forward to hearing about it.
Thanks, Chris, and thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
When we come back here on Golf Center, Pete and I are going to do a little instruction right after this. And welcome back to Golf Center. A few weeks ago, Pete, we had a meeting of the Hilton Head Island PGA. We had one of our business meetings, and afterwards you were kind enough to do a special presentation on the importance of the eyes when it comes to putting in general. You know, when it comes to putting, we have a lot of different things we have to take into consideration. Number one, what kind of putter do we have? Do we have a long putter or a short putter?
That's right.
Is the putter properly fit for the person? Do they have a methodology which is helping to bring out the best in their stroke? A lot of different facets. But one of the things that often gets overlooked, or pretty much always does, is the role that the eyes play when it comes to putting. You want to go ahead and start to let's talk a little bit about that.
Eyes are the cameras to the brain. So whatever the eyes see sends a message to the brain. The brain is then going to formulate that picture, and it's going to develop a plan for how the muscles are supposed to work, what muscles are supposed to fire in what order, when they're supposed to release, how much energy, and so forth. So if the eyes are not in the proper positioning, then the picture that it's giving the brain and ultimately the muscles is incorrect, even if it's slight. And then the ability for the golfer to make putts is
Let's talk
decreased.
about the eyes positioning. When you say the eyes positioning, what are we referring to?
Well, I found 5.
Okay.
Obviously, most people that play golf are very familiar with Dave Pell's eyes directly over the ball.
Always a very popular, probably one of the most popular methodologies when it
Exactly.
comes to getting yourself set.
I think most instructors have agreed that eyes over is optimal. Second was your eye dominance. So whether you're right eye, left
or
eye, right-handed, left-handed, lead eye dominant, rear eye dominant, however you want to call it, eye dominance plays a significant role. Third one is where you're looking at the golf ball. So if you're looking at the middle of the ball during your setup, you're looking at the back of the ball during your top of your stroke, and then another spot during impact. Now you just created 3 different targets. Which one does your brain hit? You know, you just confuse yourself. And even though it's only small increments, you're talking 1/4 of an inch, that plays a big role as you start.
Oh, I've seen many a putt that a 1/4 of an inch would have been the difference
That's right.
between it going in or not. And you know, when you talk about looking at the middle of the ball, obviously we're looking down at the top of the ball.
That's right.
Probably. Back of the ball would be the very back right, and obviously the front of the ball. And you know, you bring up a great point about them looking at different things throughout the point of the stroke.
What
you know?
What target are you looking at? Because if you have 3 different targets, you got 3 different, effectively 3 different strokes. The fourth one is tropia. What tropia is, it's a displacement of the pupils on a horizontal line. So not everybody's pupils are perfectly level. So some left pupils lower, some right higher, and vice versa. Left could be higher, right
So when
could
I
be
see
lower.
somebody walking around with this, are they leveling out their pupils? That's they're leveling them out.
That's a real good point. But in fact, it's a great point because KJ Choi is a prime example. If everyone looks at KJ, when KJ's hitting any shot, his head tilts to the left, and that's because KJ has a tropia. So KJ is left pupil is either higher or his right one's lower, and he's adjusting his head position so that what his eyes see is actually a straight line. Brad Faxon would be an opposite, so Brad tilts his head.
Yeah, he always has his kind of lean back a little bit to the right.
Crenshaw would be another one whose right pupil is higher, left one is lower, so he's got to adjust his head to make up for the tropia difference. So that the picture that their eyes are giving their brain is indeed that straight line.
So this was the part that fascinated me the most about your discussion a few weeks ago was, you know, we've got tropia, let's say. How do we know, for starters, and how can we adjust and know we're adjusting correctly?
Most people will self-adjust. It's kind of like how fast do you walk. It's more or less an innate thing. It's kind of built in. What I see is when people run into problems is when they try to keep their head perfectly vertical. Okay, so if they don't allow that natural instinct to take over and let that head and those
Okay.
eyes adjust, that's when someone gets in trouble, whether they read it in a book or a magazine or someone just told them, hey, your head's crooked, literally and figuratively.
Is this something a doctor can, an optometrist can tell somebody?
Optometrists, they can tell somebody it's a simple test. There's 4 tropias, but in putting, we're just concerned about hyper and hypotropia.
Okay.
And then the last one, plane has become a big word, quote unquote, used in the golf industry. The eye plane and the head plane have to coincide. So typically what happens is if somebody leans over just a little bit in their putting stroke, their eyes are forced to look down as their head position is forced to look out.
So in other words, my head might be looking out this way, but my eyes have to look down as opposed to me
Correct.
adjusting my head
Exactly.
so that I'm down. I might be up like this, kind of
Yes.
looking down, and that's something we kind of want to avoid, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what happens when your head is up and your eyes are down, as your head turns and swivels to the hole, your brain's idea of the placement of the hole is actually distorted.
Got it.
Okay, so your brain, since you were able to stand on 2 feet and could walk, you've developed something called spatial awareness, and what that is where your body is in relationship to a target. So if your head plane position is, let's say, 6 inches to the right of the hole, but your eye plane position is to the hole, when you look up at the hole, they're distorted.
Got it.
So you run into trouble.
So these are some of the things you might not have realized that happen, and the importance of the eyes when you're putting, and it's a good thing to check out. He's a specialist on putting, good person to go see. Pete, thanks so much.
Thank you,
That's
Chris.
all the time we have for Golf Center this week. I'd like to thank PGA professional Pete Popovich for joining me. I'm PGA professional Chris Tremblay. We'll see you next time right here on Golf Center.